July 2nd, 2025/Seoul, South Korea. The ARMY world is once again rattled by a shocking confession that comes not from the BTS members themselves, but from a rarely highlighted figure, the father of Jungkook. In a rare and heartwarming moment that happened 2 minutes ago in BTS's post-concert private chat room, Jin's father opened the veil on Taehyung's behavior during the monumental celebration of Jin's return to the stage, in a short video that has now started circulating in the Korean and international fan community. Jungkook is seen talking casually with his father behind the stage of a concert titled, "Jin is Back." This is where the shocking moment happened. Jungkook's father, who rarely gives public comments on the dynamics between BTS members, suddenly mentioned one name with admiration: Kim Taehyung. Taehyung really showed a side of himself that is rarely seen, his father said in a quiet but steady voice. He stood at the very front of the members. His eyes never left the stage. But what touched me was the way he looked at Jin, full of respect, pride, and love as a friend. According to the testimony of Jungkook and his father, Taehyung came to the concert in a rather flashy but classy manner. Dressed in a simple black suit without flashy accessories, he chose to sit in the first row without asking for the spotlight. However, his presence became a magnet in itself. The concert camera even captured the moment she held back tears as Jin sang the last solo song. He didn't say much that night, but his gestures, standing up giving the longest applause, nodding softly as Jin bowed, showed how deep their relationship was. Taehyung is not only present as a group partner, but as a true brother. After the concert was over, the members in attendance gathered in the break room. Jungkook, who approaches Taehyung to ask about his impressions, only gets a silent hug. Jungkook's father, who happened to be in the room, told how the hug lasted long enough without a word. But from the expressions of the two, especially the small tears in the corner of Taehyung's eyes, everything became clear. "That's Taehyung," he said. "He may not always talk, but when he shows his feelings, it's sincere and touching. He brings feelings not just to the song or the stage, but also to the relationship." Jungkook's reaction. Proud and touched, Jungkook couldn't hide his emotions when asked about his father's comments. In an extended clip that is now viral on Weverse, he says, "My father rarely spoke like that. But I know when he said that about Taehyung, it came from a deep place. And I agreed. I was proud of him that night." In just 2 minutes since the first video appeared, the hashtag #TaehyungAtJin's concert instantly skyrocketed on X, formerly Twitter, with thousands of fans praising Taehyung's mature and emotional demeanor. Many refer to him as BTS's quiet soul and someone who loves without many words. "We don't need 1,000 words when one look at Taehyung can make us cry. Thank you, Father Jungkook, for sharing this side." In the silence, Taehyung turned out to shine the brightest. Amid the euphoric cheers of Jin's concert, Taehyung's presence as a symbol of warmth and emotional depth serves as a reminder that BTS is not just an idol group, but a family that grew up together. And when a father like Jungkook praises a friend of his with sincere and unfeigned words, then the whole world knows. Taehyung is truly amazing. The return of the star that night, the Seoul sky glowed in light, as if knowing that a long-missed star was shining again. BTS's Jin, the oldest Hyung, has just completed his military service. With a grand stage and ARMY filling the stadium, the concert was more than just a musical event. It became a symbol of reunion, welcoming back a whole piece of the big family called BTS. While thousands of cameras panned the charismatic Jin, there was one figure who quietly stole the show, not because of his stage act, but because of his strong emotional presence. Kim Taehyung, or what we know as BTS's Vide, however. The most honest highlights do not come from cameras or the media. This time, it comes from someone who has been watching the dynamics of the BTS members from behind the scenes since the beginning. Jungkook's Faith One sentence, 1,000 meanings. Jungkook's father is not a public figure who likes to appear. He rarely, if ever, gives direct comments about his son's activities and Jungkook's friends at BTS. But that night was different. In a warm but modest back room, after the concert ended, as the atmosphere slowly melted and the guests began to chatter lightly, Jungkook's father approached his son. Beside them, stood Taehyung, who was still wearing an elegant black suit, no badges, no bling, just his calm self. "You made me cry, Taehyung." The words shocked all who heard them. Jungkook turned quickly. Taehyung froze for a moment, then only smiled slightly, barely perceptible. But from the look in his eyes, everyone knew that the sentence was not a preamble. When you stand in the front row, your eyes are full of meaning. I saw a young man who is not only a star but also a true friend. Taehyung in the eyes of the father. According to Jungkook's father story, Taehyung has long left a deep impression on his life. He recalled the moment when the members were teenagers, living in a small dorm, sharing dreams and instant noodles with each other. Taehyung used to be a kid who liked to draw in the corner of the room while singing softly. But he was also the first to pat my son on the shoulder when something went wrong. He is calm, but his attention is deep. Behind his calmness, he kept incredible emotions. That night, at Jin's concert, Taehyung stood quietly, not saying much, but the way he looked at the stage, the way he looked at Jin like a younger brother looking at a brother he respected so much, made his father feel like he was witnessing a moment of true brotherhood. The unspoken hug after the concert was over. The members gathered in the break room. Jin, who was still enveloped in the energy of the stage, hugged one by one his colleagues present. But when it comes to Taehyung, the atmosphere is different. They didn't hug right away. They just stared at each other. Jin smiles and Taehyung replies with teary eyes. Then, in silence, the two approached and hugged each other, long, silent, and full of flavor. Jungkook's father witnessed the scene firsthand. No words spoken. But I know, in that hug there are thousands of words that cannot be said. Miss, proud, thank you, and love. Jungkook, between son and friend Jungkook, who was by his father's side at the time, could only smile broadly. But behind that smile, he seemed to be holding back his emotions. Taehyung is like that, Dad. He's not someone who likes to talk a lot. But he was always there for all of us. If you are a family, then he is the soul that unites them all. That sentence made Jungkook silent for a long time. He knew that his father's words that night would keep him for the rest of his life. The world that sees and feels. Shortly after the video was released, Platform X, formerly Twitter, Weverse, and Instagram were inundated with reactions. Army from different countries voiced the same feelings, moved, touched, and proud at the depth of Taehyung's heart. Taehyung doesn't need a lot of words, just his gaze and presence. Everything is felt. Jungkook's father expressed what we felt all this time. BTS is not just beautiful visuals and sounds. He has a warm and deep soul. Within minutes, hashtags like Taehyung True Soul, Jin Concert with V, and Aya Jungkook were trending in different countries. The meaning of friendship in BTS. What happened that night shows that BTS is not just a music group. They are brothers who grew up together. They share laughter, tears, stages, and even silence that holds a million meanings. Jin and Taehyung's relationship isn't just between members. They have a bond forged by time, hard work, and loss. Jungkook's father bears witness to how love and friendship are real. They're not just kids making music. They are human beings who take care of each other, understand each other without always having to talk.